Have you ever thought you wanted to paint commissions, but you have absolutely no idea how? I'm going to tell you my system, how I do commissions, get payment, and do the work. Come on along. Hi, welcome back. Commissions. They are awesome to do, but sometimes a little scary, because what if the client doesn't like it? What if they don't want to pay for it? Do you know exactly what they want? All of those things come into play. I often do commissions. Some artists have decided that they don't want to do commissions for the very reasons I just said. It doesn't come up to their expectations, and that leaves you feeling vulnerable. Ultimately, when you do a commission, and if the customer doesn't want it, you can always add that to your roster of originals that you have to sell. But we want to avoid that absolutely. When someone asks me for a commission, I know, here's the thing that I know from the beginning, that they like my style. So that's what I want you to be confident in. They are asking you to do your commission because they like your style. If someone asks you and you are an abstract landscape painter and someone says, can you please paint my dog? And you've never done figurative at all, you might want to say no. You might want to say no because that's something that you've never done before. Maybe they're just asking you because they think you're a talented person and you could produce what they want. But I might, if it's outside your wheelhouse, I might say no, because the likelihood of them not really loving the end result because they've never seen anything you've ever painted like that would be a problem. I remember one of my first commissions, and it was an acacia tree. I was asked, because somebody thought I was a talented artist, when I lived in Kenya, I lived in Tanzania and Kenya for 5 years, to paint an acacia tree in the style of a painting that they saw in a hotel that they stayed at. Did they have a picture of the style of that image? No, they did not, but they said it was bright and colorful like my paintings, and they thought I would be good at it. Well, at that time, I didn't know anything about, doing them a sketch ahead of time, taking a down payment ahead of time, or giving them anything. So I simply painted the tree. They ended up not liking it because it was not in the style of this random painting that they saw in a hotel when they were on safari. So I had no idea. I was kind of left up the creek without a paddle, not knowing, number one, what the style was, number two, if they were going to like it or how to do it. But I did put that painting on my website. I did sell that painting to another customer who loved it. And because it was an acacia tree in my style, I have sold so many prints and reproductions of that piece that it turned out to be pretty okay. But it taught me a whole bunch of lessons. So I do remember the second time I did a commission. I had a lady that wanted a specific kind of scene, a landscape scene. By then my style was well known, so I trusted that she liked my style. And I did get as far as to do sketches. So I did sketches, and she had a few changes, and then she chose one, and I went ahead and painted it. Then she didn't like the painting. She actually said, well, I like this sketch maybe better than this sketch. And unfortunately, I had not taken a down payment. I had no recourse. So after that, I decided that I was going to take a down payment of 50% for every commission I do. And if the commission was done with the approval of a sketch, which I provide, they didn't get that money back. So that seemed like a hard one to swallow. I thought, oh my goodness, is anybody ever going to do a commission with this? And I have never had anyone since then ever return a commission or deny a commission. So there's the first thing I do. I will let someone know, yes, I can do a commission for you. First thing we're going to do is I'm going to do a sketch. Second thing I'm going to do is we're going to figure out how big it is. Third thing, based on how big it is, we're going to decide what the price is. Fourth thing, after the price and the sketch and everything is done, I'm going to take 50% of that payment, and that is that. And if they don't like the end result, I keep the 50% with their agreement. It's something that they've agreed upon. Now, I'm going to show you, I'm working with a client right now. This painting behind me, this great big canvas, is going to be a painting that is in their hall. So let me tell you the story about this couple that I'm working with. It's a very interesting story that I will tell you when I deliver this. We will go and we'll do a video about me delivering this to their house, because there's an interesting, very interesting story that goes along with it. But they wanted me to paint a painting for their hallway. So they came to see me. They came to see work that I already had, and they really liked a specific piece that was already sold. So I said, okay, well, we can do a commission. And they said, well, what does that entail? I'm just going to reiterate again. Once we establish what you like, the size that you like, and we get the price, I will go ahead and I will paint you something that might be similar to what they like, but it will always be a unique piece. But I did 4 sketches for this couple. So they initially thought that a 4-foot by 8-foot painting would work really well in their hallway. So they took measurements, and I have a few pictures of them taking some measurements. They took measurements. The husband was quite convinced that a 4 by 8 would fit. They sent me the photos. I looked at them and I thought, okay, I'm not sure if it's not too big, but I'll do some sketches for you, and then we will go to their house and we'll talk about this. So the first things I did was 2 sketches for them. They really like Tiffany Falls in Hamilton is a beautiful, beautiful falls. And they wanted a version of the painting Tiffany Falls that I had done, but they wanted it in a 4 by 8. So this format here has more water. This format has more trees with a little bit of water. So what I did is I went to their house and I showed them the sketch, and they really liked the sketch, but then we measured ourselves. The wife was not convinced that a 4 by 8 was going to work. She thought it was going to be way too big. And you know what? I agreed. I said, it's way too big. Where it would hang, the light fixture was in the way. The bottom was too close to the floor. It was just too big. So we got out a tape measure and we measured, and we held up a 4 by 4 painting that we had with us. We held that up because they were buying other paintings at the same time. This is an awesome collector family. And we measured and we determined that 4 feet was not quite wide enough for the space. It needed to be 4.5 feet and 6 feet tall. So then I went ahead and I did them 2 more sketches. So here are the sketches. Again, this one has more water in the sketch, and this one has more trees. And like I said, this couple already understood what my style was like. They've seen a painting of Tiffany Falls that they loved, and I know based on the knowledge that they love that painting, the colors and everything, I know where to springboard from. So once they approved, I got approval to do the one on the right. They want more trees, less water. This is a 54 by 72 inch painting. I believe this came in, you know what? I think it's a $10,000 painting. I think it's a $10,000 painting. So they had to give me a $5,000 plus HST deposit. That guarantees that if I do this work, I'm not out, and that they are committed. So let's go over this again. You're going to do a commission. You're trusting that your client loves your style. Red flag, if they ask you to paint something that you've never painted before. That's a big red flag. You're going to determine the size, and you're going to do your client a sketch. Now, I do just a black and white sketch. You might do a color sketch. If they really want a color sketch, you might do that. I know of artists that do a full up color sketch with markers or watercolor paints or whatever on a smaller scale. You figure out your size and your pricing. And your pricing is a whole nother video that we can talk about, how to price your work and how to get to the price that you need. You take the down payment. Now, if you've never taken money you can use something called Square. Square is an awesome thing, or if you have a WooCommerce, or you can make invoices through QuickBooks. You've got to figure out a way to take money. Maybe take a check if that's the way you can do it, but make sure it clears before you start any work. Those are all the steps to doing a commission. This is the canvas that I'm doing. I'm going to be doing another video about me starting and working on this. So I'm going to bring you along while I paint this, and I'm going to bring you along when we take it to the customer's house and install. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any burning questions, leave them in the comments. Give me a like, it helps the channel. Give me a subscribe if you learned something. And even if you didn't learn something, it'd be really nice if you subscribe to my channel. I hope you have a great week, and we'll see you and we'll talk some more about the business of art. See you later.